Hello. I found a new spot which I'm gonna try for the video today. So there's a little river just going down here. It's not on the video, unfortunately, but I'm sure you can hear it. Yeah. So yesterday in the video I told you that I'm going to this birthday celebration, and of course my uncle was there, and just when I came home with the dog he was already there, and just when he saw me he came to me and asked me about the job and about me quitting the job, and of course telling me that he told me it wouldn't be a good idea to go there in the first place. So pretty much as I imagined. But I stayed pretty cool. I didn't get involved emotionally in any way, and yeah, that was good. I told him that it was just not the right job for me, that I had to quit. So he basically stopped inquiring me about it, and I think he noticed a different energy within me that he maybe picked up on, and he noticed that it wouldn't make any sense to ask me more stuff. So it was a pretty short conversation, and I was done with that. But then when we have been sitting at the coffee table and we're eating cake and stuff, I have been sitting at a different table than this uncle, and he was sitting at the table with my mother and my father, and he started questioning my mother about my job and me quitting, and of course she told him much more than I wanted to tell him, and they were sitting in my back. I didn't want to turn over and tell my mother to shut up and not to give them any more information, because that would have been pretty rude, and yeah, but I think he got all the information that he wanted, and I didn't want it to happen, but my mother, she always falls into his traps, I would say, and this has happened many times in many different birthday parties, and many of them end up with my mother being angry about him, and yeah, I don't know if he's angry about my mother, but probably not. I think he just likes provoking her and getting her angry, and she always lets herself be provoked by him, and this is just not nice to see. And basically they ended up into a conversation about politics. So there is an election in Germany in a few weeks, and of course they will vote different parties, and so they basically debated so loud that no one else could really have a conversation, because they were just so involved in climate change and the speed limit and I don't know what. So it was not nice. But I was happy with myself. I was happy with the answers that I gave him, and the reaction he got from me. And I would say I have grown, and I am more confident to give him the answers that I want to give him, and not the answers that he wants to hear from me. And this feels good. This feels good. I just also notice that my parents are just not the best role models in many ways. I love my parents and I will probably always love them, and I'm thankful for what they have done for me. But there are a lot of things that you can make better in many ways. And this, what I told you about my mother, is just one example. Because this happens basically every time my mother and my uncle meet. They end up in disagreement, and this is just not helpful for anything. And instead of my mother being aware of that she's doing that all the time, she's just so I called her this morning and we talked about it. She thinks she has done everything right, and she thinks, okay, you have to give opposition if someone tells something that's wrong, and you have to have an opinion and tell them others, otherwise you would just neglect yourself. And but I would say in this situation it would have just been better not to go into these topics, and because it's just doesn't go anywhere. So neither her nor him will change his or her opinion, and it just annoys everyone who's around. It's embarrassing sometimes, because my mother, her face is completely red, and you can hear in her voice that she's not confident, that she's in defense mode, and they are just getting louder, and she's just getting more agitated. And if you are in this, I don't want to say panic mode, but if you are that agitated, you're just not really yourself. You're just you're just caught up in the emotions, and you can't really think in that situation. So I think the best would be to let him talk, to not follow his intense or follow his just not fall into this trap that he wants to dig, because that's all he wants. He wants to get her angry, and from the outside I see it. Maybe it's easier to say it from the outside. It's always easier to see it from the outside, and but I would say I have made it better, without saying that I'm better in any way, but not giving him the answers that he wanted to hear, and being pretty uninvolved in the whole thing. I just told him, well, I left, and that's what's going to happen, and I'm okay with that. And so there was nothing really he could say about it that would make me angry or anything. So so that's that. But I feel always so uncomfortable at these family gatherings. There are always people debating about topics that you are not interested in. There are always people telling you stuff that you don't really want to hear, and they are so invested in telling you their newest business project, and you're just sitting there and saying yes, thinking, how do I get out of this conversation? And you just eat way too much cake and chips and drink too much soft drinks. I don't drink alcohol, but even the sugary soft drinks, because you somehow have to cope with the whole situation that's so uncomfortable, and eating is all you can do. So I'm glad that I'm out here today going for a little bike ride, and I haven't done a cold plunge in here, I don't have a towel or anything. But I could do one here. Maybe another day. Yeah, and the thing is, there are people you haven't seen for a while and you would like to talk to a little bit, but you just don't, at least it's for me, I don't want to open up about stuff I want to talk to them about so that everyone else can hear it. Because, for example, with my uncle, everything you say can be used against you. That's his way of talking to people. And so I try to tell him as little as possible. But many times he gets information from my grandmother or from my mother, and so yeah, that's just how it goes. But also I noticed that with myself, that I really struggle to have an opinion and to stand for it in front of everyone else. I think this is still a part of people pleasing that I'm struggling with, but I think you will never see me, well, you should never say never, but it's really hard for me to imagine that I am in a family gathering and I'm talking about my party that I want to vote for in the next election and why it's the best party, and yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm not interested in politics, I have to say, but I could talk about other topics. But being out there, having an opinion, is kind of being vulnerable, because then there are people having different opinions and thinking you're crazy for having this opinion, and this is just a battlefield I don't want to get in yet. So I know that it's important. I do have opinions, of course, but as a people pleaser, I let it go easily because other people might have other opinions, and it's easier to survive if you just take on the other people's opinion. And I might do that. I'm sure I will. I have done that in the past. But I would say deep inside myself, I still keep my own opinion. But on the surface level, I just pretend to have another opinion. But now I see that this really hurts my integrity and it's basically a lie. So I don't want to lie anymore. So I really have to get to the root of this behavior, and yeah, maybe I should start small with something, but I don't know what I can have. Maybe I should have an opinion about something here on YouTube. Okay, I do think that cold plunges are good. Okay, so this is my opinion. And if you have a different opinion, you can say it in the comments, and I will try to cope with your different opinion. Maybe I will switch my opinion, but I don't think so. But also, it's okay to switch opinions, because you learn new stuff and you get new information, and sometimes it's just the right thing to change your opinion. And it would be insane, crazy, to just keep your opinion because it's your opinion. And this is also something my mother has done very many times. Also, I've seen this in these discussions with my uncle. She had to stick to her opinion, even though she noticed herself probably it was not the right opinion, but she had to stick with it. And in these situations, it would just be the better option to say, okay, you're right, or maybe you're right, I don't know, but it seems like I could switch my opinion here and take on your opinion. I think this is something very few people can really do, because it requires a lot of strength, self-awareness, and honesty to really do it. And what you are not allowed to have is pride, because mostly the stuff that keeps you from doing that is pride. And I kind of noticed that last week when my brother was with me. So he was cooking, and I said, well, these potatoes, they don't look very good. Have you bought them? Or something like that. Oh no, I said, the potatoes that you bought, they look not very good. And he was offended because I said that. And so he told me, well, you're telling this stuff all the time. You're always so negative and accusing me of doing stuff, and you're just not aware of it. And he was kind of right. I could have said, okay, these potatoes look not very good, without having pointed out that he bought them. Because the bag was closed, there was paper all around, so you couldn't see inside. But it took me so much, to force to get over myself and say to him, well, Robert, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it that way. Yeah, and just apologize for it. But I didn't apologize. I just told him, okay, I didn't mean it this way, and I explained the situation, that they look shit and you bought them, so it's just more or less a neutral observation. But yeah, I just asked him if it would have been better if I have just said, okay, the potatoes look shit, and without saying that or pointing out that he bought them. And I think he was fine with that, but I was a little bit unhappy with myself, because I could have just apologized. So Robert, if you're watching that, I'm sorry for the potatoes. They were okay. They tasted pretty good, actually. Yeah. See you next time. Bye.